G'day everyone, and welcome to today's video. Here we are at a new track that I haven't featured on the channel yet. It is Monza, and it is in Group 3, and this is Race C. You know, I don't do Race C too often. I'm not really a huge fan of these long races where I'm more likely to make mistakes because the race is longer. So that's why you don't see that, but I thought Monza Group 3, that is a good combination, so let's give it a go here. So you're looking at a qualifying time at the moment. We're on medium tyres and we're using the Nissan GT-R Group 3, the Nismo version. Actually, its full name is quite a mouthful. Nissan GT-R Nismo GT3 N24 Schultz Motorsport. So of course it's based on a real car, hence Schultz Motorsport in the name. Obviously that's the team of the car it's based on, but I've gone for a different livery. Not quite sure what it is, but I like the look of it, so that's what we've gone for today. So we're at Monza in Italy. It's a lovely track, first built in 1922, this current variation used in 2000, or introduced in 2000, used up to present day. It has 11 turns, it's 5.7 kilometers long with a longest straight of 900 meters, just short of a kilometer really, 0.938 kilometers. It was introduced in Gran Turismo as part of update 1.11, of course very early in the sort of update lifetime as we get it a bit out of shape going through Ascari there actually, so obviously there's a bit of time left in this lap, but we're going to leave it as it is. Well, clearly we're going to leave it as it is because you can see matching is going to start in 1 minute and 40 seconds. Anyway, so of course Monza, it's a real life circuit, so there's actually events held at this track, and it's honestly one of the most legendary circuits in the world because look at it, who can't love Monza? But we're going to round out the lap now, coming through Parabolica, turn 11, and we're going to cross the line with a 1 minute 50.173. And this leads straight into a race in a minute's time, or well, instantaneously actually. If you're going to watch this video, it's instantaneous, but here's the final now, Daily Race C. So this was a few weeks ago now, so obviously I'm, filming these videos quicker than I can get them to you, so that's why this is from ages ago, but I qualify in 9th. Currently BB rated, which is not so good, really. I really want to be sort of AS, really, is where I want to be sitting. But here we go. So we're going to start the race now. Let's see. So Monza, turn 1 is one of the tightest chicanes you're going to ever see. So obviously it's quite likely that a massive turn 1 pile-up is going to happen. But you can see I've got fuel map up, so obviously race C has fuel usage, so that's why that is. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. So we're going to come down the street. We've got a Porsche right now, slipstream. We're going to see if we're going to receive a nice punt going into turn 1. Of course, you're going to brake pretty much just after the 150 on lap 1 and just before on lap 2. And any lap after, actually. But we go in there. Accidentally got the inside of another Nissan. Porsche comes across and just pushes me off the track into the gravel. So yes, the answer is yes, it's going to be a massive pile-up. And I actually get a 1 second penalty for that. So I don't know how that happened, but you can see I'm in stone dead last. We're behind a McLaren, but surely he'll make a mistake having qualified last. But we've got a yellow flag up ahead going through Curva Grande. What is it? It's a McLaren off the track. Ghosted to my right-hand side, and we go past him. We're now into 18th place. Now braking towards the second chicane, turns 4 and 5, sorry. We're going to go through there nicely, actually. The McLaren a little bit all over the place. I do also apologise if there's any echoing. I'm not in a very good location for recording. The room is quite echoey, but it's better than nothing. So you can see Porsche loses it and McLaren drives off the track, so we're going to go through what is it, Lesmo? Yes, Lesmo 2 now, and you can see there's the penalty line. There's a second worth of braking there, so we lose, what's that? We'll lose over a second actually, probably 2 seconds as McLaren makes his way past again. We've got someone else in the slipstream, another McLaren who went off the track actually, so he's made a good comeback there. So we're going to go into Ascari again, we're side by side, that's not going to be good. I'm going to brake a little bit more than him so he can go in ahead. I'd rather him go ahead now than us have a massive pile up at Ascari, but up ahead is, I think that's Lexus with the 3 second penalty. McLaren loses it a bit on the exit and I go past him. His penalty is actually getting bigger up ahead. I think he's in 14th place. Massa, the Japanese player. So we go through Parabolica, or it might be a Ferrari actually. We'll see when we catch up to him, if we catch up to him eventually. But we go through Parabolica and I get a little bit of oversteer. You've got to see that quite often as we're in a turbocharged car and we're accelerating while still turning quite heavily actually. You can see up on the mini map, you can see weird corner exit down at Parabolica. But anyway, into turn 1, let's see if we have another pile-up. Let's see what chaos ensues down here. We actually get through there nicely. Oh, no, we don't actually. As I just get on the power, I'm still turning a little bit too much and lose it on the inside grass. So, after a whole lap, we've made up 2 positions from 19th into 17th. And we're still 20 seconds off the leader. So, honestly, this race is not going well at all. Now, I did quite a bit of practice for this, actually, but we're going to go through the second chicane now. What's that? A Porsche is slow. Let's see if we manage to go through him while he's ghosted as he hops over a cone and just comes out of the ghost. So that's quite unlucky for me. So we're just trying to get past him. He sort of leaves the door half open, going really slow, and it's just not quite wide enough for me to fit a Nissan GT-R through there. But let's see, we got a Mercedes AMG off the track with a second worth of penalties. Another person serving their penalty up ahead. I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh yeah, there's another penalty being served. We're going to lose. He's going to lose a position. I'm going to gain a position. We're into 15th now, and we see an Audi R8 slow. I don't think it's going to be enough to put a move on into Ascari. I don't think it is, but I just try to miss him, and I misjudge it slightly and go into the back of him. So there he is, lying across the track. I try to... I don't really, actually. I think me going off the track is enough of a penalty at the moment. I don't need to slow down for him again, but you can see a Porsche squeezes his way past as I'm trying to recover. I think about quitting there, but I thought, no, I'll leave it. So that's that Audi with half a second of penalties, probably for exceeding track limits there. But we're now firmly in the slipstream, braking on the 100-metre board. He brakes just slightly after me, but you can see he slides wide. And I go up there, full on the power, a little bit of oversteer, a little bit of a snap, but we managed to keep it. So we're on the outside now for turn 1, we're right next to the Audi, so here we're going to see top speed difference. You can see my Nissan as he manages to just touch me, but there's no problem there. You see the Nissan comes out victorious in a battle for top speed, so we're going to come down towards turn 1, braking just on the 150 board. We're going to break down all the gears into second, go over the first curb, absolutely murder the first curb, and then sort of lightly kiss the second one, and we're going to get through there nicely. So that's how turn 1 is supposed to be done, not with massive accidents. But we skip ahead now. We're going to make a position up on the Porsche here, going into Ascari, got the inside of him, so we managed to get through there nicely, but he manages to come back with a massive punt, so I'm not, honestly, that was an absolute murder. Like, I just overtake him smoothly and he goes straight into the back of me. That is the kind of racing we're dealing with in BB lobbies, and we managed to get a second of penalties for it. Now, he comes up the inside and I make a stupid decision and just retaliate. Absolutely, 100% on purpose. It was absolutely conscious decision, just ram him off into the wall, so I get another 2 seconds of penalty for that. Now, I deserve that penalty, but I was, honestly, by this stage, lap 3, qualifying, what was it, 9th, and ending up in 17th, I was really annoyed, so I thought, well, yeah, you saw, he punted me and I thought, you idiot, mister. Honestly, you got enough practice trying to get your braking point, so I'm going to ram you off the track. But I hope that's the last, I hope that's the last we're going to see of him. We might see him when I serve my 3 seconds of penalty again, but we're going to go into turn 1. Let's see if anything else happens. We've got an Audi up ahead, so he's the one we accidentally punted going into Ascari in the previous lap, but we managed to get through there nicely. But anyway, so the lap now is me trying to catch up to this Audi and trying to put an overtake on him before I have to serve the penalty. So he's going quite slow actually, probably not quite optimising Curva Grande like you're supposed to, but we managed to go up the inside, going through there side by side through the second chicane. It's not going to quite work, he ends up going back ahead, but yeah, he gets a bit loose on the exit, and I managed to make my way up the inside before Lesmo won. Someone's off the track there, so we make up another position into 15th, but you can see I'm preparing to serve the penalty. I'll be forced to decelerate in the next penalty line, which is coming out of Lesmo too. So we managed to get through there nicely. On the power, move over to the right hand side and serve our 3 seconds. So honestly, I'll happily take the 3 seconds if it means I get the satisfaction of absolutely murdering that Porsche off the left hand side of the track going into coming out of Ascari. But on the main straight of lap 5, we managed to go past the Audi, go up the inside of him. So, But that was the in-lap, nothing too exciting. So this is a pit stop now. So you can get medium or hard tyres. I think obviously medium's better because it's quicker and you're going to make a pit stop anyway. Refill petrol, and we're up, well, we're still in 15th actually. I think we might have gone into the pits in 15th, don't quite remember. But by the end of the race, we've made up a couple of positions. We're going to make up hopefully one more going into the second chicane, Segunda Variante. Absolutely creative Italian name. We go through here side by side. Let's see if there's going to be respect shown a little bit. I think he just edges me, but I don't think... actually, he just edges me. I hope that doesn't sound too naughty, too X-rated. But yeah, he just sort of nudges me to the side of the track, and I think that was fair game. You know, you don't really go through there side by side, but you can see he goes a little bit wide going through Les Mode 2, and he has to delay getting on the accelerator, and managed to make our way past actually. So that's a position made up on the last lap. I suppose I'm not going to complain, but you see by the end of the race, we finish in 11th. So there we go, we finished a minute off the leader, so like that's more than half a lap later. So not a good race, but you see some of the people down the back. But that's it for that one. We're going to move on to the next one. We're going to completely forget that that happened. But before we do, you can see as we're rounding out a qualifying lap now, obviously, you know what it means if I show you a qualifying lap. It means it's a good one. Or good by comparison to my other rather average laps. But I'm going to cross the line here, and it's going to be a 49.7. 1 minute 49.7, obviously. But we managed to improve the qualifying lap, which always bodes well for... you know, trying to get a good position on the starting grid. If I can try to select my words more carefully there. But here we go, we're in 5th this time. So we started 9th previously. What did we have? A 50 point... was it a 50.3 or something? Don't quite remember, but we would have been further down around 8th place if we kept our old qualifying time. So we're up into 5th now. So I can see the leader, the bright orange Mercedes AMG, up in 1st place. Probably not going to beat him because... for some reason, always in these BB lobbies, there's 1 or 2 players that are, you know, like 2 seconds quicker than the rest of the field, so he might be one of those there at the moment. We're going to start the race. Hopefully we avoid any turn 1 chaos this time, but we're going to get straight to the slipstream of the Lexus, I believe that is up ahead there. So there we go, we're in the slipstream now. So here we go, we're going up into turn 1. Let's see if everyone gets to their braking point correctly this time. 150 board, which obviously is a bit early for lap 1, but there we go. Leader slides wide. Let's see, we got a BMW on my inside, but we managed to get through there quite nicely in comparison to other people up into 2nd place. So that's actually a good return there. 5th into 2nd in the first corner. So you see the... where is he? In 6th place. He was the leader. So he's absolutely binned it into turn 1. So ideally he's going to make a bit of a comeback because he's obviously the quickest person. But we'll see what happens there. I receive a nice little nudge from the Castrol liveried Lexus going through the 2nd chicane. So that pushes me a bit wide, but we managed to keep our 2nd place. So this race is already going better than the first one. We're in single digits instead of double digits, and very high double digits thereof. But we managed to go through Les Mode 2, a little bit of oversteer. We get through there pretty averagely actually. So a little word on my driving style actually. So this car is turbocharged. You can see down next to the left hand side of the fuel map there's a pressure, sort of a pressure gauge there. So that means that's the turbocharger air pressure or supercharger, whatever it is. Don't really know the difference, but nevertheless. So that means that when you push the accelerator down, the wheels are just going to go because it's assisted by the turbocharger, whereas if it's naturally aspirated, that means no turbocharger. If sort of the tyres have resistance against it, they're not going to spin up as much. So the turbocharged or supercharged cars, whichever one they bloody are, they're going to be more prone to oversteer than naturally aspirated. So that's a little word on me. Obviously I prefer naturally aspirated actually. I can sort of tame them a bit better, especially going through tighter turns. But while I've been talking there, I've given the BMW a 4-second penalty. That was way back up in Ascari, but we managed to go through the first chicane there nicely. BMW just gets a bit loose in the exit, gets up on the grass, and as I'm distracted I just get a little bit of oversteer myself. But we're now firmly in the sights of what is Easy Claps in third. I feel like that name may have a bit of an innuendo. I don't, you know, some of these Australian people really choose really weird names, and I feel like Easy Claps is sort of the subtlest attempt at a bit of an innuendo there. But while I've been talking again, he's gotten himself a penalty that he's going to serve coming out of Lesmo 1, and we've still managed to retain our second place. So he serves his penalty there. We're not going to see him for a little while now as he drops to, it's going to be, actually, as we skip ahead, it's going to be back to half a second going through Parabolic, and we run a little bit wide. And you can just see how long I have to delay getting on the power, because there's no grip out there. I'm just going to slide wide, and Easy Claps makes his way back through. So here we go, coming into the second chicane of lap 2. Let's see what happens here. He gets on the curb, but manages to get through there nicely, but he just exceeds track limits actually, so that'd be for running over the second apex. So he's going to serve that penalty immediately, as the second chicane is just early enough to serve the penalty on the same lap, going out of Lesmo 2. We go through there. I think we run over the curb a little bit too much there. Does that result in a penalty? I hope not. It does actually, half a second. So that's too late to serve it on this lap, as we just go through the penalty gates as we receive that penalty, so we're going to serve that on the next one. But you see Easy Claps, half a second, it's not enough to get past him going down the Seraglio straight on Monza here. So we're going to go through Ascari there. So we're half a second behind. That's good slipstream range. We're on lap 5 now actually, so that means it's the in lap. So you can see I put my right indicator on, so any cars around me know that I'm going right into the pit lane. So we go through Parabolica. Easy Clap's a little bit wide, but you can see as I get on the power, we actually catch up quite a bit of ground going through there actually. So he was half a second, he's now less than 2/10 of a second. We almost go into the pit entry side by side. So here we go in the pit lane now. So I've got 15% fuel. Leader has 23, and a couple of other people have around sort of mid-teens worth of fuel. So everyone's quite even on the fuel, except the leader. He's actually done a little bit of fuel saving to be up on 23 instead of sort of 15, 16, 17 range. But interestingly, that leader was the Mercedes. The Mercedes that's in front of me now. So he's made a good comeback from sliding wide at turn 1 of lap 1. But let's see, he brakes a little bit early. I end up going up the inside, but I just pull out. I don't think going through... Actually, I believe going through turn 1 side by side isn't a good idea. But you see I got a little bit of oversteer as I'm sort of compromised by the AMG Mercedes just on the outside of me there as we exit the first chicane, known as Prima Variante. Very creative names as we go through Curva Grande or Curva Biassono, which it is also known as. So we receive a little bit of a punt. Oh, actually, no, I don't. It just... Yeah, for some reason, it just felt like I received a bit of a punt there. A little bit of a lag, probably. But we managed to get through there okay now. But we're going to serve this penalty as I just hit the inside wall going through Lesmo 1. They had a bit of a rookie driving mistake there. But we're going to go through Lesmo 2 there. And we're going to serve my half second of penalties. So we're going to see where that puts me in the pack now. We've got Terry 11, the Jap player behind me. He's not going to catch up too much ground, probably maybe second at most, going down the Seraglio straight now. We're going to go through Ascari in a second. So you see up ahead, there's massive fighting. He's been punted. Easy Claps is off the circuit, into the gravel up ahead. He's ghosted coming through Ascari. We're going to just absolutely sail through him, going through Ascari there. So the bit of fighting up ahead between him and the Mercedes that resulted in him going off the track. You see by the final lap, I just missed my braking point. There's the 150 board sailing by. I'm nowhere near the brakes, and I realised by the 100 board I'm not going to get it pulled up in time. Oh my goodness, that is the end of that. So we're going to try and get going now. So we just slide over the first apex, meet the second apex, but what is that? Easy Claps is there, and that was the moment. That was the moment I knew I'm going to be completely turned around. Oh, so what was a solid drive? Eight laps has resulted in another really disappointing event at turn 1. So that's really the Achilles heel of Monza, turn 1. You can get it wrong on your own, you can get it wrong in a pack, someone else can get it wrong and wipe you out, but In the end, we come home in 6th with 34 seconds off the leader. So it was a solid drive, but I just ruined it going into turn 1. And unfortunately, I don't like to do this, but I'm going to leave the video there on a somber note. Rest in peace. But that's it. I hope, nevertheless, you did enjoy the video. I did enjoy racing at Monza, although those aren't the 2 races that I hoped I would have. But, you know, whatever happens, happens. So be it. But that's it from the video, and that means that's it from me. So once again, I do thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe and like, and do let me know your thoughts down below. I do once again thank you for getting to the end of the video, getting this far in. I really appreciate it, but that's all. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.